story about a friend of yours. Let's make him a 16-year-old guy. And he's walking down the sidewalk one day, and he is stepping high. And then the phone rings. He takes his cell phone out of his pocket, and it's his girlfriend. And she says, "Hey, I found somebody I like better than you. It's over." She hangs up. Well, now, all of a sudden, your friend, as he's walking down the sidewalk, begins to analyze the situation. It's very bad. And as he's walking down the sidewalk, he begins to experience all of these powerful emotions. He feels very depressed. And let's say, just for the sake of the illustration, that your friend comes to a bridge. And he steps up to the edge of the bridge and looks down, and there's no water under there. It's just a 100-foot drop to solid rock. And let's say, just for the sake of the illustration, that he has some friends there. Oh, they're not really close friends. They're acquaintances, guys he's met at parties, that sort of thing. And they're all over there looking at him standing on the edge of the bridge, and they're going, "Jump! Come on, do it! Everybody in the whole school has jumped off this bridge but you. Go ahead and do it, man. The rush is awesome. Can you imagine the exhilaration of accelerating at 32.15 feet per second squared? Oh, man, you are not cool if you don't jump off this bridge, and you can't be a part of our group. You can't party with us if you don't jump off the bridge." Now, your friend is standing there on the edge of the bridge, and he has 3 pieces of information to use in making a very important decision. What he knows, how he feels, and what other people tell him. What does he know? The situation is bad. How does he feel? He feels very depressed. What are his friends saying? Jump! So your friend makes his decision and he jumps. Now, about 1 second after he jumps, 2 things suddenly occur to him. 1, all of the people that were shouting, "Jump!" are still on the bridge. Secondly, what is going to happen when he hits the ground below? And so, at that moment, your friend, hurtling through the air at breakneck pace towards certain death, makes a decision. He decides he doesn't want to jump anymore. He's got a problem. Why? Because the moment that he stepped off that bridge and made that choice, he set in motion a series of events with an inevitable consequence. Now, all of us are free to make our own choices in life. But nobody in this world is free to choose the consequences of those decisions. There was a guy named Jack at the University of Texas not too long ago. He was a freshman, and he had pledged the Phi Lambda Epsilon fraternity and was accepted. And they threw a big party there at the fraternity to welcome all of the new pledges into that fraternal order. And Jack had a little bit too much to drink that night. You see, what he knew was that that's the way that college people party. That's what a frat party is. It's drinking, right? And he knew how he felt. He was excited about being a part of this fraternity, and he felt like partying. And when they put that shot glass in his hands, all of his friends, his new friends at the fraternity, were shouting, "Jump! Do it! You're the only one in the fraternity who hasn't done this. Do it! Jump!" So he jumped, and he took a shot. They put another one in his hand and said, "Jump!" And he jumped. They put another one in his hand and said, "Jump!" And he jumped. They put another one in his hand and started around and started chanting, "Jump, jump, jump." Oh, they weren't saying the word jump, but that's what they meant. And so Jack jumped again and again and again. He took 8 shots that night until his blood alcohol limit was almost 3 times the legal limit, and he passed out. And that's when the fun really began. They took out magic markers and they drew cartoons all over his legs, and they wrote slurs all over his face. And it would have been hilarious if Jack had ever awakened. But it kind of ruined the whole party when they realized something was wrong, and they took him to the doctor, and he was dead. Now, do you know why Jack died that night? He died because he made his decision based on what he knew, how he felt, and what other people told him. That's all he had. You know what I wish? I wish that there'd been a superhero there. I wish that Spider-Man had been right there in the room. I wish that somebody with the heart of Spider-Man, maybe you, had been in that room. Could put your arm around him and say, "Hey, you know, I know you're making a decision based on what you know, but it's possible you don't know enough. Maybe you don't even know what alcohol poisoning is. Do you know if you drink enough of that stuff, you die right on the spot? And I know that you feel really great right now, but you know, feelings are a pretty dumb way to make a decision, aren't they? And I know those guys over there are saying, jump, but you got to be really careful who you listen to. Hey, listen, look down there. Don't jump. I'm your real friend. Don't jump." Man, if Spider-Man had been there, he'd have shot a whip out and snatched that shot glass right out of his hand. But you know what? Spider-Man won't be at your first frat party. but you will. My question for you is, are you going to be a superhero that day? Do you sometimes feel surrounded by idiots? Or people who are just plain lazy? Is your past catching up with you today? Well, regardless of the excuse you gave yourself for getting up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, I know what the problem was. You woke up with your head in the wrong place.
First, you'll need to take out a bandana. Now, fold the bandana in half. That's right. Fold it in half. Now, take out your mother's favorite handbag. Place the bandana in the handbag. Now, close the handbag firmly around the bandana. What the audience doesn't know, neighbor, is that you never put the bandana in the handbag at all. That's right. You kept it hidden in your left hand. Remember palming? Sure, I knew you would. Remember to keep your hand in a natural position. Now, make a magical gesture over the handbag. And with a grand flourish, fling the handbag open and wait for your well-deserved response.
In an unforgettable presentation, world-class illusionist Billy Riggs seamlessly blends his powerful message with spectacular illusions and hilarious fun.
Sir, you are thinking of a single word. You never wrote it down, you never told anyone, you merely thought of it. Would you please, for the first time, tell us the word you are thinking of?
Newspaper.
Newspaper?
More than 2 million people on 5 continents and 10 cruise ships have experienced the incredible message, magic, and comedy of Billy Riggs.
Come out! You and I have something in common. We all became illusionists as small children. In fact, psychologists tell us that the faulty perceptions of the world that we all drag with us through adult life to cripple our creativity, paralyze our potential, limit our sales, impede our progress, and drain our lives of joy were generally formed in our minds by about the age of 6.
Because he performs magical illusions as he helps people recognize and break through the false beliefs that hold them back, illusions about themselves and the world, Billy Riggs is known as the world's first and only DIS-illusionist.
It is the eternal law of life that if you choose as an act of your will to get up with your head in the wrong place and say, "My glass is half empty," it will get emptier. The consequence of a negative attitude is that you will attract bad things and bad people to yourself. And over the course of your lifetime, you will slowly drain your glass to the dregs of all of the joy that you might otherwise have known. You will find a very troubling process at work in your soul. Your glass will grow smaller. Your ability to know joy and success will slowly diminish. As day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, decade by decade, you find yourself paying the compounded interest on a life lived with a sour, dour, negative outlook. Okay, last time. This is your brain. This is your brain on a bad attitude. And this is your brain on a good one.